Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Laurie from Go Polish and I love to review nail polish collections, mostly mainstream. I'm trying to think if I should add any more brands. I'm doing a little research, so maybe I did this last year and thought I would do more Zoya, but I just haven't been super interested in Zoya for some reason and didn't add them. But I think this year I probably should add another brand, at least one. It gets kind of busy if I have too many, and I'm working on some other projects right now too. But I'm thinking I want to add something. So leave in the comments down below. I was thinking Dazzle Dry. Do they have seasonal collections that come out? I don't know enough about them yet. I need to do a little bit more research. So let me know, because I kind of like brands that do seasonal collections so I can just showcase them quarterly. Put down in the comments what you'd like to see. A lot of you ask why I don't do a lot of indie brands, and it's just because I'm not super interested in indie brand polishes. I don't like a lot of shimmers and glitters, and I feel like a lot of those brands lean towards those. I am gravitating towards some shimmers and getting pulled a little bit that way, but not too much. So I do kind of tend to stick to the mainstream brands, and I just really like them and I feel comfortable there. So anyway, give your opinion down below. But today we're going to be talking about the Essie Spring collection for 2024, the Blushin Crushin collection, and I'm super excited about this one. When I initially saw it, I was like, oh, I'm not so sure about this. There's more shimmers, more glitters, and you'll see with OPI, because that just came too, there's more from them too. And so I was a little underwhelmed. But when I started swatching these, I was like, wow, I was kind of blown away. So I'm excited to talk to you about them. Before we get into it, let's go through all the things. On my nails is a polish from this collection, so I'll talk about it when I get to it. On my lips, I am wearing let's see, Dior Lip Glow in Lilac, and it's a beautiful, soft, just kind of soft, glossy shade. Love it so much. I'm putting this in my car because I pulled it out and kind of forgot about it, and if they're in my car, I use them more. So that's where this is going. I will link my sweatshirt down below. I'm really loving LLBean this year. I picked up several things from them, and it's been nice to kind of try out a new brand that I haven't really tried out. So let's get into the collection. I love that they did 3 creams in this collection and 3 shimmers. And yes, I even love the shimmers. We're gonna start out with the lightest shade, like I always do. This one is First Kiss Bliss, and you guys know I love this polish. When I first looked at it, I was like, this is a green. It's a very light mint green. And then there were times I looked at it and I was like, no, it's a blue. So it kept changing, and I love that about it, because I feel like whatever you have it up against, it's gonna look a little bit different. So I love it. And I mentioned before that I'm probably gonna do a video of my favorite darkest darks and my favorite lightest lights. I have a feeling this one's gonna be in there, but it's just a really interesting shade. And the formula on this is pretty good. 2 coats, I would think 2 thicker coats. You might have to do 3 if you paint your nails pretty thin. So it's just gonna depend on how you apply it. But I feel like the formula is pretty good, especially for a shade like this that's pretty light. Now, you know that Essie has a million colors similar to this, and I will have you know, I pulled them all out. I did 5 sets of comparisons just because I really wanted you to see these all next to this one. I also want you to be able to see them all kind of side by side. And if you remember, I think it was in my favorite reds video that I posted last month. I had done that with all the reds, and it was so nice to just see them all together. So I'm going to try to find a way at the very end of talking about all these to show them all together, and then I'll post that on Instagram as well so you can see, because a lot of these are going to be similar but not the same. That's the thing, you guys. Similar but not the same. You guys know what I'm talking about. So let's get into the first comparison. But the first that we have here is Can Do Attitude, and that one's darker and more green. It's not a bright color. It's more of like a muted sage. So these were the ones that were a little bit more green than this one. And these are the ones that made me think, oh, it's a little more blue actually than I thought. And then Take the Dip, which is new from the winter collection that wasn't available here in the US, which is an amazing polish. That one's bright as well, and it has a little bit more yellow in it, which kind of surprised me, but love that one. And then the green version of Mint Candy Apple. I cannot remember if the green version is newer or the blue version is newer. Please remind me down below, because I really want to remember that. That one's darker and more blue. There's those. And then we have Mint Candy Apple, the more blue version, and that one's obviously more blue here. And then Borrowed and Blue is also more blue, and then Blue Lala is almost exact to the blue version of Mint Candy Apple, and so you can see those there. So these are all more blue than this one. And then we're moving on to Blooming Friendships, and that's more blue. And then we have Flight of Fantasy, which is more of a sagey blue, and then Maximilian Strauss-Her, which is darker, which is a little darker and not quite the same shade. So we're getting closer, you guys. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to OPI. We've got OPI Mexico City Movement, and that's also close. It's a little touch more blue, I would say. And then Susie Without a Paddle is more blue, and it still has like a hint of green. And then It's a Boy is a little bit more blue. So I felt like out of all those, I feel like so far this one is closest to Mexico City Movement. It's maybe a hint more green, but it's very close to that. So far with Essie, there's nothing that's like exactly the same. I mean, in bright light, these are all gonna pretty much look the same, but nothing so far. So let's do this last Essie comparisons. We have Blossom Dandy. It's very close to it. It's a more muted and darker and not as bright, I would say. And then Strike It Positino is a little bit different as well. I didn't write anything down for that, so you can see in the picture. And then Belief in Yourself is a little bit of a darker sage. So that was a lot of comparisons, but I felt like it was very necessary because I even get confused when I see this, because when I'm looking at it right now it's kind of looking more blue in this light, and so I think, oh, this is exactly like Borrowed in Blue, but it's not. It has a little bit more green in it. And so you can see there's so many of these shades, and this one is a little bit unique, I would say, but I don't know. You can decide if you get it or not. If you have a million of these, you might not want it. I personally am happy that I have it, mostly just because of comparisons, and I love these really light colors, and this one is just beautiful. I love it so much. Now we're getting into some ethereal polishes, and I am loving these so much, you guys, way more than I thought I would. This one is called Spring Fling, and it has this gorgeous warmer pink soft color as the base, and then it has this gorgeous kind of goldenish shimmer, but it's kind of a soft golden. It's more of a cool toned golden, and it is just beautiful. It adds depth to the polish. I like that these are opaque enough. Do realize they have to be a little bit sheer for that shimmer to shine through, but these are just like the perfect amount of opacity, and so I really appreciated that about them. Sometimes I felt like with other collections, sometimes OPI, especially last year, I felt like those were super sheer. I did feel like those looked really good on top of other colors, but I like that these are kind of standalone and not necessarily toppers because they're so opaque. So they're going to be opaque in 2 coats. You might need 3 depending on how you apply it, but I could get them all, these next 3, pretty opaque in just 2 coats. So let's check the comparisons for this one. Babes in the Booth. That one's fairly close. It has bigger glitter particles, and it's not as glowy. It doesn't have like that iridescent shift in it that these do. While it was the closest, it was not the same. And then the Girls Are Out is darker and has more of a sporadic glitter, so it's a little bit different. And then Meet Cute Moment is the other one from this collection that I wanted you to see how it compared to it. And as you can see, that one's warmer and corally, so they are different. So those are the comparisons for that one, and hopefully that is helpful to you, but I just love this one. It's so fantastic. I also feel like these next 3 polishes I'm going to show you are the perfect thing to wear this time of year. I realize some of you message me at times and say, oh, I have the hardest time knowing what polishes to wear this time of year as we transition from winter to spring. But I feel like these soft pinks are perfect for this time of year. I feel like this is a good one to wear now, and that's why I put it on. Love this one so much, and I'm so happy because I really thought I wasn't going to, but I do. Now I'm kind of feeling like these next 3 all have a similar base color, so I feel like it's this soft warm pink base color. I could be wrong, I don't have inside details, but just by looking at them I feel that way. And this one, Meet Cute Moment, it has a warmer gold shimmer in it. It's almost coppery, and it looks a little stronger on the nail than it does in the bottle, but it is beautiful, you guys. Same thing, this is going to be opaque in 2 coats, 3 if you're doing them very thin, but I feel like they just build up so nicely and beautifully. And I think this one's fun too. I like that this one shows up a little bit warmer than the one that I have on my nails. It's a little bit warmer, and especially with that coppery shimmer shining through, yet Even though it's coppery, it's still a little bit muted and soft and lovely and dreamy. And I think these are just so fun. So let's get into comparisons for this one. So I compared it to Let It Glow, and that one's very, very close. Maybe a little bit more shimmer. As I built it up on the second coat, I did realize though it's more opaque and not as metallic. So they are different, but that's probably the closest that I could find. And then I compared it to Sizzling Hot, and that's quite a bit more sheer, and it has a strong purple pink shimmer that kind of overpowers the warm corally tone of that one, and so that one's quite different. Orly Follow the Map, and that one is beautiful too. It's a little darker and a little warmer. Such a good one too. I feel like that would be a good polish to wear this time of year as well. It's different, a little bit darker, and I love it. And I am happy I did comparisons because I think I'm going to pull that one out. Anyway, I'm excited about this one too. I think I'll wear it as it gets maybe a little bit warmer. Then we have a Flirty Flutters, and this one is gorgeous too, you guys. I do feel like it has, maybe this one has a little bit different base. It's maybe a little bit cooler than these other ones. I'm not sure, but it's kind of close. But it also has this purple pink shimmer underneath it, so it's definitely makes it more cool. But anyway, I feel like they're all kind of similar as far as the base goes, but the shimmer is what really makes it stand out and be different. So this one is a little bit iridescent. This is probably my favorite out of all of them actually, but I want to wear it as it gets a little warmer just because I'm funny like that. I kind of have to do them in the order I think they should go in. So I'll put this on maybe around Valentine's Day or maybe in March or April or something, but it is so pretty, you guys. I'm surprised how much I like it. Same thing, it's going to be opaque in 2 coats. It builds up so beautifully. Let's check comparisons for this, but really there's nothing like these, you guys. I feel like these are pretty unique and special. So I compared it to Good Vibrations, and that's a similar shade, but it has some purple glitter in it instead of shimmery, and it's not as glowy, so it's different, but same kind of idea, same kind of feel. And then Olive and June Bouquet, I just wanted to pull that one in there because I compared that to a lot of these other ones that I'm doing comparisons for this collection, and I just thought I'd get asked about it. And I love this one, you guys. It's definitely a more bubblegum pink. It's more opaque, and it has a glitter that's a little bit bigger. But it's obviously very different, but I just wanted to pull it in so you guys could see. And then Going All In is more purple and it dries down matte. So it's definitely different, but in the bottle they looked kind of similar. So I just wanted to pull those out to see, but like I said before, these are all pretty original, at least in my opinion, at least of the polishes that I have in my collection. Another fun one is Tulip Touch. This is another cream, and this one is beautiful. Love this soft blue. It's a little bit muted, but not too muted. It's not as gray as some of the other blue grays that Essie has, so it's a little bit different. It has a little bit of brightness, but not too much. It's just really perfect for spring. This would be a good one to wear this time too if you want something a little bit brighter. And the formula is fantastic, you guys. It's opaque in, I would say, close to 1 coat, but man, you pretty much probably could get it opaque in 1 coat. I did too. I feel like it's a little better in 2 coats. So fun to apply. And let's see how it compares though, because I pulled out quite a few polishes. It really was hard for me to find a blue that was exactly this color. There are some that are a little bit similar and one that is pretty close that I'm going to talk about. So let's look at those. So I compared it to Olive and June Boost, and that one is the closest that I could find. It is a little bit lighter and brighter and not as toned down as this one, and I think that's why I like Tulip's Touch so much. So I do feel like they are a little bit different, but that's the closest that I could find. And then OPI The Eyes Have It is lighter and brighter, so compared to those OPI shades, it's not the same. And then Amuse Me is quite a bit darker. And then Essie had a lot of blues that had more gray in it that were different that I didn't compare them to. Mooning was more gray, The Bestest was more gray, and then Bikini Sotini was brighter, of course, than this one and more periwinkle leaning, so it has a little bit more purple. So I do feel like this one is different, and I'll let you decide, of course, if you're gonna get it, but I absolutely love it. And the namesake of the collection, Blushin and Crushin, is so good. I love a bright pink. I don't care how many we have. I love them. Ah, so fun. I'm like so tempted to wear bright pinks, and I probably could if I wanted to, but I just want to wear the more subtle pinks like this one right now. I just don't want to quite get into it yet because I don't want to get sick of it by the time summer comes. When summer comes, I'll definitely be wearing this one, and the formula is fantastic. I love that this is a strawberry color, but it's almost coral leaning. So it's like a pink that's coral leaning, but it's not quite coral. Now Essie has a lot of corals and I've done comparisons for this so that you can see how different they are. I do feel like it is a little bit different. So let's look at those comparisons. I compared it to Hot Strawberry, which is one of my favorite Olive and June polishes. It is so good. I just love the color tone of it. It's more pink, a little bit lighter, but it does have a similar tone. So you can see where Blushin' Crushin' is just slightly coral leaning. And then I compared it to Strike a Rose, and that's the first one I thought of Essie, and that's quite a bit more bright, almost neon, and it's a little more pink as well. Cute as a Button, which is a favorite of everybody's, is more coral than this one. And then here are some comparisons to other corals. I have Rose to the Occasion, which is a little bit more red, and then Resort Romanzo is the one that I found like it was closest to. I feel like these are the same color tone, but I do feel like Romanzo was a touch darker. And then Peach Daiquiri is a warmer color, and so it's more like peachy orange leaning coral, and so a little bit different. So those are all the ones that I pulled out, and as you can see, I think there's more corals, but they were either more red or more orange, and so those were the closest that I found. So I do feel like this one is original, similar, not the same, you guys. And anyway, like I have said before, out in the bright light, I mean, they all might look pretty close, but I'm going to show you the slight differences if I can, because that's what I like to do, to justify being able to get it or to justify not getting it. I'll let you figure that part out. I love this one so much, so good. I can just happily say that I love this entire collection, and what makes me so happy is that I really didn't expect to when I initially saw it. So give these a chance, especially if you don't like shimmer. I know these glowy velvet nails are really popular right now, and that's why they're doing these, and I feel like other brands, especially OPI, hasn't been able to quite get it or do it right, and I feel like Olive and June has done a pretty good job about getting them right, and I feel like Essie has just really hit a home run with it. I just love them. Especially when I just really thought I wouldn't. So I'm really, really happy with this collection. They're all my favorites. I think you need the whole collection. But anyway, which ones were your favorites? Let me know in the comments down below, and we will see you next time. Okay, bye.